All right, so I'm going to try this out and see if it works, but this is the last question in our packet. So it wasn't in my previous video from virtual learning, but I'm going to do it here. So this question's kind of challenging, but once you kind of understand what's going on, it's actually very simple. So we have 2 points, 8, 25, and 17, 3. And we're asked to write the vector c to d in component form. So component form is where we have our chevrons and the x and y. So since we're going from C to D, D is going to be my terminating, while D is my terminating, C is my initial point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the terminating x value, which is going to be 17, minus the initial x value for C. And I do the same thing for y, so 3 minus 25. So 17 minus 8 is 9. 3 minus 25 is negative 22. So that's the vector C to D. That's what it looks like in component form because it has an x and y. So then we have this whole situation of find the position vector. That should be important to know. 3/4 of the way from C to D. Now, there are times where this changes around, and it could be D to C, where I would have to use the opposite of this. I would use C being the terminating, D being the initial, and we do the subtraction there, which just creates a vector that's in the opposite direction, which just changes signs. But you can do that if it comes across a problem like that. So I'm going to just say point C is somewhere in space. I'm not drawing this to accuracy. And point D is also in space. And I'm drawing a vector from C to D. And that's what vector C to D in space looks like. Well, position vector means that I'm going to have another vector that starts at the origin at 0, 0. But then what they also told us is that it's stopping 3/4 of the way from C to D. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of draw and sketch what 3/4 from C to D looks like. And that's what it looks like. So how do we go from here? Well, what am I looking for? Well, I'm looking for the vector that starts off at 0 and ends 3/4 of the way from C to D. This is what I'm looking for. That vector there. What would be helpful is that we have 3 vectors that we added to get to that. So every vector that we've been adding, we've been doing like from head to tail and all that stuff. So right now, I have this point in space C that stops 3/4 of the way from C to D, and the position vector that I want goes from the 0, 0 to that. Well, I'm kind of missing a vector. Where did the beginning of this path go so that I have this shortcut that's this blue line? Well, if we start here at 0 and go to C, I end up having my vector addition. I have this green vector plus the red vector, and that resultant is the blue vector. And sorry if you are colorblind and can't tell the colors, but I'm just trying to do some to kind of help y'all get the point across. So what is this initial vector here, this green one? Well, it's starting off at 0 and going to C. It's literally just vector C. So the vector addition that I'm doing here is I'm taking vector C, which is that green vector, plus 3/4 of the vector from C to D to get my resultant vector, which I'll just call R just so that I won't call it question mark anymore. So I'm going to take that question mark away. Oops, took my vector away as well. So that's what I'm looking for. That's the resultant vector. So that's what my answer is going to be. So how do I do that math? Well, how do I write a vector C in component form? Well, the initial point is 0, 0. The terminating point is 8, 25. So really the vector C is just 8, 25. You just change it from parentheses to vector brackets, to chevrons. And we're going to add that to 3/4 of the vector C to D, which we already figured out was 9, negative 22. So then you just do the math. So you got 8 25ths, and I'm going to do multiply, like kind of distribute the 3/4, so get 27/4 plus negative 66/4. And then we combine like terms and add it. So I'm just going to do that off on my calculator so that I can get the right answer and not do it incorrectly. But 8 plus 27/4 gets us to 59/4. And then 25 minus 66 over 4 should get you 17 halves. So you could write these as decimals if you wanted to, or put them in fractions. Either way works. Just we would probably want an exact answer, so make sure you're not rounding. So that would be the answer to the question being asked. What is the position vector that is 3/4 of the way from C to D, which is that resultant vector that starts off at 0 and ends 3/4 of the way. So we needed to add a vector C and 3/4 of vector CD in order to get my final answer. So if you have any questions, just come and see me next week, and have a good day. Bye.